Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're a regular subscriber, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about how I built my Ultimate Warrior. Those of you who clicked the thumbnail expecting a video on the Pro Wrestler The Ultimate Warrior, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. This is a Dragon Quest III HD2D remake guide. But I was a huge Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage fan as a kid, so I just couldn't pass the opportunity up. If you enjoy Dragon Quest videos, top 10 videos, reviews, podcasts, all that good stuff, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn notifications to all. Helps the video out with exposure, helps more people be able to find the video. It also helps me reach my subscriber goals. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. There's like not even a month left, so I think with your help, we might be able to pull this off. Anyways, into the video itself. So today I want to look at the best way to build your warrior. So this best starting point, in my opinion, is either a martial artist or a thief. I started with a martial artist because whenever I play Dragon Quest III, I always make sure I have a martial artist. I don't normally class change nearly as much as I did in this HD2D remake. I would recommend probably starting with a thief. If I had to do it all over again and knew what I know now, I would have started this guy as a thief. So the character we're looking at here, his name is Soldier, named after my good friend Soldier First Class here on YouTube, but also kind of a reference to the original warrior name in Dragon Quest I, which is Soldier. Soldier started out as a martial artist with the bat out of hell personality to help gain agility early on. Now, as I said, I probably would recommend starting with a thief so that you get those agility boosts, but you also get access to pad foot early. You also get access to monsters dropping items more frequently early, and you also get access to abilities like Nose for Treasure and Snoop, which is pivotal if you want to find all the mini medals or just get your hands on all the treasures, or even just find out how many treasures are in each location or each floor on the dungeon. I started as a martial artist with this character. The reason you want this character to be a martial artist is for A, the agility, B, the luck stat going up, which increases your chances of critting along with the agility stat, and then the fact that you can learn Critical Claim. Now, Critical Claim is incredible. It's a guaranteed critical hit every time you use it. It has a high MP cost, which will be kind of the downside to this entire build, but we do, at the end here, have a way to remedy that. Now, Critical Claim, another downside to that is it takes a long time to learn. You don't get access to Critical Claim until around levels 47 to 49, so unless you want to keep your martial artist all the way up to level 50 at the hop, I still recommend starting with a thief, because by the time you get to level 20, which is when you can change vocations, you'll have those abilities that I mentioned with the thief. But let's stop getting ahead of ourselves. Let's get to the first vocation job class change. So obviously I started as a martial artist and I want to change to a thief so I can get those abilities that I've been talking about. So the first vocation change, if you didn't start with a thief, is to change your martial artist into a thief. Now, if you started as a thief, you might want to hang on for a little bit longer until you learn these thief specific abilities and then turn them into a martial artist. So the reason we're changing into a thief, we're keeping that bat out of hell personality, so he continues to gain agility very quickly, but we want to stick with the thief until he learns Backdraft, which is the last ability he learns around level 33 to 35. Considering a lot of the other classes learn their last move in like the level 40 to 50 range, this is another reason why I recommend starting as the thief. Because you're going to hit your level 35 on the thief, you're going to learn Backdraft, and then you're going to be able to switch to the martial artist. And then you can stay there until you're around level 50 to get Critical Claim. So the reason you want to learn Backdraft is because it allows you to reflect breath attacks. And anyone that knows anything about Dragon Quest games knows that usually the most powerful bosses or monsters in the game are going to be using super powerful breath attacks in the late game, and this is going to be your opportunity to reflect those back at the monsters. Now, it's not necessarily going to do a ton of damage, but it is going to protect your characters big time, and it'll do a little bit of damage as well, especially if they're in groups with monsters that aren't like dragons and stuff, because the problem with bouncing a fire breath or something back at a dragon is it's not going to do any damage, right? You're not going to do any fire damage to a dragon. They breathe fire. Now, once you've got your thief leveled up to where you've learned Backdraft, again, if you started with a thief, move on to the martial artist until you learn Critical Claim around level 50 or so. But if you started with the martial artist and getting Backdraft as a thief is your second step, Then you want to move on to Monster Wrangler. Now, I'm going to make a video later on down the road here on kind of the two most important job classes in the game, and Monster Wrangler is definitely one of those classes. So when it comes to the Monster Wrangler, you really don't want to switch your characters to it until you've wrangled or recruited or rescued 50 monsters, because that's when you learn incredible Monster Wrangler abilities like Wild Side and Monster Pylon. So what Wild Side does is it gives you 2 moves every single turn. It'll double whatever attack or move you've selected for that turn, it'll double it. And then Monster Pylon does set damage based on how many monsters you've recruited or rescued. By the end of the game, you're doing like 750 to 800 damage on a single enemy every time you use Monster Pylon. So double that up and you're looking at massive damage. I'm talking like 1600 damage, which is unbelievably good. And the best way to dish out damage against a single enemy in this game, as far as I'm concerned. Stick with Monster Wrangler until you learn those abilities. You can learn them almost instantly if you've already recruited 50 monsters, but stick it out to build your stats up a little bit. You don't want to regress on your stats, because remember, like I stated in my guide to vocations in general, every time you change job classes, whether it's a class you've been to before or not, you're going to go back to level 1 with all your stats halved, okay? So you don't want to be regressing on your stats. You want to try and match kind of where your stats were before you job class changed earlier. You should be able to keep high agility. You should be able to keep high luck. Once you've got everything you need from the Monster Wrangler job class, it's time to switch, finally, to the Warrior. Once I switched this character to a warrior, I immediately put the tearaway personality on him. What this does is it boosts his strength, but it also keeps boosting his agility. The warrior's original biggest setback was lack of agility. Warrior would always attack last. It was so frustrating, and the reason why I would almost never use a warrior when I would play Dragon Quest III in the past. Even in the original Dragon Warrior on the NES, I made him a martial artist my first playthrough and changed him into a warrior, and that hit to the agility still made him attack last, even though he built all that agility as a martial artist. So now that you've been both a martial artist and a thief, and you've had a personality to boost those, you want that tearaway personality to keep those agility gains, so you're still attacking first. And I'm talking attacking first over even liquid metal slimes, alright? So if you've built this warrior correct, you are going to be faster than a liquid metal slime. You are always going to get the first turn. Your strength is going to be as strong as a powerful warrior, and your agility is going to be as fast as a powerful martial artist. You're also going to have that kind of mid-range luck stat, because you've built that up over the course of this character build, and it's just going to be an excellent character. So some of the perks of being a warrior is, of course, that strength, and then you're also gaining that defense, which this character would have lacked in during his tenure as both a martial artist and a thief. And then as the warrior, you're going to get access to sword dance and multi-slice. Sword dance is kind of like multi-fists, where you're going to be attacking like 4 or 5 times in a row. It's going to be random monster, but if you focus it on one monster, you're going to do a crap ton of damage, because this can crit, unlike Monster Pylon. Again, you're still probably going to want to use Monster Pylon quite a bit, because any monsters that have like weird defenses and stuff like that, Monster Pylon is not affected by any of that stuff. So Monster Pylon is always going to be your kind of go-to, your tried and true, but Sword Dance in certain occasions is the best move. Now, Multi-Slice is going to be kind of like your roundhouse kick, but a little bit stronger, because it takes into consideration more of your strength and the weapon that you've got equipped. And then just being a warrior in general adds to your strength, adds to your defensive capabilities, and like I said, you've built up all that agility. So this is, to me, the perfect, the ultimate, dare I say, warrior build. The only downside here is that you're going to have lower MP. So you're going to be around that 400 range for your MP once you get into the higher levels, which, if you're using critical claim quite a bit, which you would have learned from your martial artist, you're going to run out of MP in no time if you're using Wild Side and critical claim. The reason you'd want to use this is if you're in like a big group of 3 really strong monsters and you need to pick one off so that you can survive a little bit easier only facing off against 2 of them, because Monster Pylon is going to spread that damage out across all the monsters on screen. You don't want to do that if you want to cut down the amount of monsters you're fighting. So in this case, you're going to want to use Wild Side, and then you're going to want to use Critical Claim so that you can hit critical attacks twice in a row on the same monster, quickly eliminating them from the battle, or at least a little bit quicker than if you were to spread that damage out. Once you narrow it down to maybe 1 or 2 monsters, switch back to using Monster Pylon to deal 1600 or so damage, and you've got yourself an absolute freaking beast. So in order to counteract the fact that you might run out of MP, I always make sure I put Rubus' Sword on the warrior. Rubus' Sword allows you to basically cast Kazapple if you use it as an item. So if he runs out of MP, you're kind of boned in terms of using any special abilities or anything like that. But if you can still use Wild Side and use Rubus' Sword as an item to double cast Kazap, which always is going to do a very decent amount of damage, even if you've got no wisdom or anything like that. That's it. That is my ultimate warrior build. Let me know what your warrior build consists of. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. I hope this helped you out. Again, if it did, please remember to like, subscribe, turn notifications to all so you won't miss the next videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.